Good news, everyone. This episode of Flipper Flicks is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. We recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. I hope you enjoy this episode.
Cue the singing giraffes!
Welcome back to Flipper Flicks. I'm Tim, and whether you're on the blue, the red, or the green team, we're happy to have you back. This week's episode was pretty good, but I'll move it on to somebody else. I don't know who's next before I say anything else.
Tim gets lost in this. I'm next. I'm Adam. So I'm Adam. You can catch us. Like he said, we're Flipper Flicks. We are also at Flipper Flicks on Instagram and Twitter. And we are on lots and lots of different podcast environments. We are a movie review done by unprofessionals. Yay, us. Sam. I keep leaving it, and then you just keep laughing.
I know. I was trying to see if he would fill the space if I just kept looking at him like I wasn't ready. Apparently he will. I love it. All right.
I'll just keep talking. Do you need me to keep talking?
No. I got it. I can take it from here. So I'm Sam, and this week we watched Coherence. So why did we watch Coherence? Well, we rolled straight to video on our wheel, or I guess spun, technically, not rolled. And so that means any movie that doesn't have a theatrical release. I kind of bent the rules this week because I didn't really, want to watch Sharknado 7 or a Disney sequel. I was kind of looking for something different, and Coherence stuck out to me and it had some good reviews. So it didn't have a theatrical release, but it did get released in indie film festivals, so I feel like that counts. Yep. So let's see. The synopsis for this one is: 8 friends at a dinner party experience a troubling chain of events due to the malevolent influence of a passing comet. It got 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. It got an 88% by the critics and an 80% by the audience on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel like is pretty good. And then good old Google coming in at 90%, as they always do.
I gotta be honest, we got a nice thunderstorm going on in the background.
Yeah.
Kind of works for this in a sense.
Yeah, I think it does.
Before we get into before we get into our initial movie, I want us to roll some dice. You're gonna be told to remember your number, and then say it at the end of the episode.
Wait, should we say spoilers alert?
Oh yeah, super duper spoilers. This movie's a bit of a mind bender.
Yeah.
It is from 2014, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you've had some time to watch it, like 6 years.
But I had never heard of it, so.
Right.
Same.
So okay, let's roll the dice. Here's my wheel.
What color is your dice?
My dice is red.
Ooh,
I'm
mine
on 4.
too.
Oh. Okay, I'll roll mine next. Ooh, that was spooky. Did you hear that
hope
thunder?
you guys heard
I
the
can
thunder.
hear that, yeah, it's awesome.
I feel like,
I love
man,
thunderstorms.
She's
is
rolling
that
a
a
black
bad
dice.
omen? I'm really
No.
Roll
scared.
the dice.
Get out of dice!
I got a 1, and it is a black dice. Writing mine
4,
down.
and then Tim.
I got a 6.
I hope we can hear your dice.
I rolled it earlier, like when you rolled
Oh, what'd you get?
a 6.
Oh,
And my
Tim's
dice
6.
is black and red.
Oh, look
Kind
at
of meets us in
that.
the middle.
Yeah. It's like we did it on purpose.
All right. So back to the review.
Yes.
Sam, what was your initial thought?
That's a great question.
Before the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
The pause.
I know. I feel like I should have been ready for this question because we do it every episode.
Every
and yet,
episode.
I don't know how to describe my expectations for this one because all I did, I was trolling looking for a movie, right? And I think you found the reviews, right, Adam?
Yeah, so I was Googling best straight-to-video films.
Right, and so you were like, oh, this one has really good reviews, it's on Hulu, and I was like, okay, sweet. And then we watched the trailer last week,
Well, you and I watched the trailer right a week beforehand, so last week.
And I'm just going to say the trailer sets this movie up completely differently than what it is. So the trailer sets it up like the Netflix original, The Invitation, which is like a dinner party and shit gets real. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm always down for a thriller. So I was excited for it. But damn, I was not prepared. Adam, what were your expectations?
Oh, I was prepared to... I wore my brown pants when I watched this film. Because I thought it was going to be straight up a horror film. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, god damn it. I'm going to just... But I did find that you were deciding between this and a movie called Frozen.
Yeah.
Which is not Disney's Frozen. This is another Frozen from 2010.
Yeah, where they get stuck on a ski lift.
Yes. With the guy that plays Bobby Drake in X-Men, which is hilarious because he's ice. His powers are ice. Anyways, Tim, what were yours?
So I literally just opened Hulu, popped it on, and turned it on. So I had no idea about anything.
Which makes it all the more better for you.
Yeah. I literally was just like, all right, here we go, I guess. No idea what the movie was about or anything. So I really, besides a text from you guys,
Oh, the which one? Like Sam's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I try not to go into movies with a bad attitude or anything. Starting out, unless I don't know. I would say I was ready to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Long story short, I was ready to enjoy it. Yeah. A lot of pauses and breaks and enjoy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will also want to say that this movie is free on Tubi, Vudu, and Crackle right now. So if you want to catch it in those platforms, and also if you have Sling TV, apparently it's there too.
Cool.
So just some little tidbits of knowledge.
So can we get into this one because oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam looked at me after this one and was like, "Can we do it now?" And I'm like, "No, Tim hasn't seen it yet."
I was about to call you and be like, you need to freaking watch it and we'll live chat through it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like it's just one of those movies that, like, you want to immediately talk about it after you watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it was hard for me to, like, harbor my feelings. And this is also kind of like the first mind fuck movie we've had, right?
Yeah, I've been trying not to use that word. I've been using mind bend.
Okay.
When I explain it to people at work.
Oh, well, you're being professional. I don't
know,
have to
right?
be professional here. And so, I don't know how this episode's going to go because it's hard to talk about a movie like that.
Really?
Like, I feel like I need to say my expectation or my review first and then talk about it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you guys try to help me steer through here. So let's start with, like, the opening scenes. I have some stuff. Mm-hmm. I thought that the transitions, I mean, this is very nitpicky, but I thought the transitions were kind of weird. It just,
You mean the dark black screens?
Yeah, just, like,
There's a
black.
reason.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Oh, those were literally, those blackouts implied fractures in the timeline.
I figured it was something like that, or like it was a memory break thing, because the whole time they're talking about memory stuff and whatnot, and I thought it was really weird that those cuts were there, and I was like, this just seems like a TV show, like it's supposed to be a commercial break, but I was like, there's a reason.
It looked
for
like
that.
a commercial
I knew there
break,
was a reason,
for sure.
but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, they were implied that the comet was already passing, so the time was already getting...
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's what I was going to say. It felt like it was, like, put together like a home video and, like, here's where the commercials should go.
Yeah,
so I thought that was kind of odd, but at the same time, like, yeah, I kind of get that weird vibe.
Yeah.
It, like, worked for it. It was weird.
Now, I will say the first one cut to... So, they were pouring olive oil, and I'm like, is this... I looked at you and I was like, are we on a commercial break?
Oh, yes!
Because they were, like, making it, and, like, they purposely... They put, like, like, it looks like an ad or something. I'm like, what the hell are we watching?
Well, it looked super odd because the opening scene was her in the car, right? And it was, like, really dark, and she was talking to her boyfriend.
Yes, she was talking to... Not Lee. Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin.
And then it flips to them inside the dinner party house, which was, like, super bright. So it did...
Right.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like... and we're watching a Pam commercial?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I want to say, though, like, when she's on the phone, did you guys know that there is a speaker at the top of your phone now?
Is that where she was talking?
Yeah, she was talking like a normal, old-school phone, which I always do that, too, because I always laugh at people who hold their phone up and just talk on speakerphone at all times.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
So my initial thought with that stuff is like not knowing anything. I didn't know when it was made. I was like, oh, is this an older movie? I was like, did this come out like the early 2000s because of how it was filmed? And then my other thought was it's either that or it's an indie movie.
Yeah.
And so I was
This is a true indie film.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, so I'm excited now. And another thing I first noticed, let me look at my notes here so I don't get this wrong, like an order or whatever. So yeah, I thought it was like indie-esque, and then like the lack of music starting out was interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was pretty hooked right off the bat on those generalities.
They did a really good job at making it seem like there were 8 friends that just hadn't seen each other in a while.
Right.
Because like they were chatting over each other the whole time. I'm like, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I do this constantly.
Yeah, it felt very natural. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I kept thinking, like, the acting wasn't the most amazing thing in the world, but it felt good. Like, it felt natural, what they were doing, what they were talking about. I don't know, it just didn't seem, like, off-putting or, like, forced or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, real quick, who was your favorite of the 8? Let me read you their names, just since it's been a bit since you watched it, like a whole 24 hours.
I mean,
Sam.
I think I know their names.
All right,
but...
you go. Who's your favorite?
I mean, you guys are probably going to hate this, but I really liked M.
I would
You're
have to
such
agree.
a basic bitch.
Well, okay. Let me defend myself because
I mean, I don't think you really have to.
I was just going to say, like, the props that she has... Okay, so we'll skip ahead. The props that she has, like, when that 50th note shows up on the door and she's realized she's at the wrong house.
Yeah.
And she just pieces out. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, you don't belong here. Get out of here. You go,
Yeah.
girl. And then she kills herself, which is like,
She doesn't
Oh,
kill
she
herself.
doesn't kill herself.
well, oh no.
She
She
tries.
tries. And not like in a suicidal way. Like she straight up is looking at her body clone and has the guts to kill her body
Or
clone.
attempt,
So
yeah.
that she can be in this reality. Yeah. It's crazy. M's great. Why? Who was yours?
No, Tim's going.
Tim, who was yours?
I liked her too because, like, out of all the people, she was actually trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And she wasn't just sitting around yelling or breaking down all the time. My only character flaw in her, which I don't disagree with what she did there at the end and trying to leave, and I think the right decision was to leave, but I think she knew at that point no matter what she wasn't going to get back to her original place. And
Yeah.
so she thought, find the best alternative or the one that will fit what my needs are, and she tried that. So I don't entirely agree with her way of going about it or like how selfish it was, but at the same time I thought it was smart. I thought it was her only option, her only way of like mentally surviving it. So she was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, she probably should have. She made the good choice of not going into the house where they were all tied up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, oh, so that might got to them. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite was Hugh, though. Although he
Hugh?
went ballistic
Yeah.
at the end.
He did, yeah.
But
Rightfully so.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, he was a close second for me, though, because, again, I felt like he was... Okay, well, I do have some beef with him first. I don't like that he's constantly trying to, like, call his brother, and, like, that's what he's, like, so fixated on.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get it, but I'm also kind of like, dude, will you just chill out? Like, it's probably fine.
So, I'm going to break that,
Okay.
and you're going to love it.
Okay.
The actors were not given a script in this movie.
Oh.
What?
This movie is almost 100% improv.
Really?
That's crazy.
They were each given, it took 5 days to do this movie.
Okay.
Like, they filmed it in 5 days in the director's household with his
Dang.
8.5 month, that's the right word, pregnant wife.
Dang.
She's like, you got 5 days and then I got to get out.
Hardcore.
Wow.
Right?
I'm impressed.
Right? They were each given a short paragraph at the beginning of each scene, each day. That was like, these are your goals.
Okay.
This is your character's goals. His goal was to call his brother.
Ah.
So he would try and leave
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah, well, because I found that odd. I was like, why do you guys keep trying to leave? Like, I get it, but I also don't at the same time. Like, it felt very forced at the beginning, but as you get along and they start figuring it out more, I think it makes more sense for them to try to leave and try to contact others. But,
Yeah.
like, at the beginning, it felt kind of forced, at least with Hugh's character.
Yes.
But I don't know, something about his character, like, I really liked him. I think because he was also trying to figure stuff out. But I will do a bad plug for M in that, like, she was, like, uber jealous and controlling. And, like,
Yeah.
to your point, Tim, like, she basically chose the best scenario where her boyfriend actually liked her instead of, like, flip-flopping about her.
She also chose the scenario where she was a better person.
That's true. I don't know. I thought it seems like her motive would be like, oh, he loves me in this version.
Yeah.
What do you think of the whole part where she put on that little ring, goes to him when he's standing outside, and he's just like, oh yeah, that was a fun day. Goes inside. She realizes that's not the right him.
Yeah.
She goes inside and he's like, he has no recollection of the ring.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh,
I really
shit.
liked that scene where she was out there, she got the ring, and the dude's all lovey, and then
Yeah.
they realize they're
She
not
goes
from
in.
the same, and they just slowly
Right.
back away from each other. I thought that was great. That actually, I laughed at it, but like out of like that was good kind of laugh. Like
Where
not,
you're just like a, fuck.
it was just I just like chuckled and smiled because I was like that was good. I like that, and the acting for it was really good because it felt really creepy. Like the dude also
It
his
did.
face completely changed, and he just slowly backed away. I thought that was really good.
I thought he was going to try and attack her.
You know,
Yeah.
that's exactly part of it, like the creepiness. I didn't know what he was gonna do. It was like they both just realized they're not from each other's reality. Like, what's gonna happen?
But before we even found out that they were like, we knew that there were other ones, but we didn't know that our main crew at the very beginning was separated, right?
Right.
Right.
But Lee was just like, my Mike, she kind of foreshadows it. She's like, my Mike would never go drink. Like,
Right. Yeah. She
And
thought
then
that
Mike
in.
is just gulping down glasses of wine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did like that too because see, this is this movie. It's got me crazy. I think that her mic was still there when he was talking about his alcohol problem, right? That wasn't
That was
the
him.
new mic.
That was
Yeah.
that was him.
That was
That should have been.
that was
It was
Blue
not
Team
because-
Mike.
I think
No,
so.
because if you left the house, you
were-
automatically
yeah.
were fractured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee never left the house. Her Mike did.
Yeah, but did he leave it right away? Like when he was talking about how he has a drinking problem, he probably had left by that point, right?
Yes, he had left
Yeah.
by that point. Because that was in the middle of the movie. That was after they saw red team running the other direction.
Yeah.
That was another great part was when like they came out of the second house and they all saw their like colognes and red team glow sticks and they just
Right?
like stared at each other
Yeah.
and then like run past each
So-
other like
They just all noped the F out of there.
So for you guys, what do you think your reaction would have been? Like, if you had seen that, I don't know. What do you? how do
I
you
wouldn't
think-
have tried to fight myself. I know that.
You what?
I would not have tried to fight me.
Okay.
too unpredictable.
I'm gonna just yeah. Well, no, I'm more passive just in general, so I wouldn't have been like, he's got to go. Like,
Right,
I know
yeah.
that I would like to think that my other self is over there thinking, well, he's not gonna attack me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike Mike, who's like, oh yeah, I know me. I'm coming for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna get me.
Well, one of the mics does that, but
Yeah. Well, at least two of them because
Yeah,
they're all
'cause the
tied
other
up,
one's tied
most
up, yeah.
likely.
what
What about you,
Sam?
Tim?
Oh.
Oh shit! All
We're
right,
already fractured
yeah.
our reality here.
Tim. I asked Tim first.
Yes, that's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Honestly, I probably like waved and would have tried to chat. Like that's what was my first thought. It's like,
I can see that.
why not try to like figure this? Like, there's more of you now. Go talk to each other. I don't know. I would have tried to talk to him. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, okay, like, but are there split personalities in this aspect where they were at one point thinking who's the bad guys, or like, there's potentially what if they're the bad side of me, and I'm like. Well, I don't want to fight the bad side of me unless I have to, but I'm going to try talking first.
Yeah.
It seems like did you watch all of Futurama?
Yeah.
The parallel universe version of Futurama where they're in the boxes,
Right.
where they find the other form of their universe. The only difference was like flipping a coin, 50% are changed. So like personalities are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just for instance, like Fry and Leela are dating in one universe because Leela flipped heads. In the other universe, she
Yep.
flipped tails, so they didn't date.
And that
That
was,
is my theory of the fractures.
I agree
Like,
with
it's
that.
just
That
yes
was
or
mine
no.
too. Yeah. I didn't think there was going to be any like, haha, this is the evil personality and this is this personality. Yeah, I didn't think that was
Yeah.
going to be it, but yeah.
Sam, what about you now? We're on player 3.
I don't know. I think I can definitely see Tim talking to each other, and I can definitely see. I think me and you're talking to himself, I guess. Like, trying to be like, yeah, I want to figure out what's happening. But for me and you, if we had gone out together, I think we would have just been like, what the fuck? to each other, and just, like, kept walking.
Kind of flat-faced, that looked at each other and been like, alrighty then.
Right, like,
Moving
was
on.
that just our clothes? Like, what's happening here? And then I think, like, I'd like to think that we would have tried to figure it out, like, after that. But I think, like, in the moment, we would have been like, I've seen some shit. Like, this is fine.
I'm tripping.
Yeah, like,
right?
I'm on drugs. Did I have alcohol? Did I have any drugs today? Like,
did I eat the shrooms? Did I?
What's happening here? Because I did think that was, okay, I'm skipping ahead, like, when they tried to pin it all on, okay, Beth.
Beth, you nailed it.
Sweet! After I said I knew all the characters' name, I was like, shit, what was her name? I did think, like, it was smart and kind of rude of them to try to pin it on Beth because she had been trying to get people to take whatever essential oil or whatever the heck she had.
Yeah.
But, like, when she was getting all offended, like, oh, I don't drug people or whatever, like, I still thought that was an accurate response. Like, Are you sure you didn't drug us? Like,
absolutely.
But they kept emphasizing, but it was Hugh who was defending her, which it's a husband-wife,
right?
At least spouse sort of thing, where they're just like,
yeah,
well, the spouse is going to defend, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you would need to take that whole thing and more to hallucinate. And clearly, she only has one little bottle that's not even empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to skip backwards a little bit because I think what this movie does a great job of doing is building up, like, the tension, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, when you first got there, you're like, oh, sweet, it's just a dinner party, whatever. And then, like, at the point where the phones start to, like, go down, like, the power hasn't gone off yet, just their phones.
Their phone starts...
They start rupturing, but then also, like, they're like, does anybody have service? Because I think Hugh was trying to call his brother. I was thinking to myself, like, look, I know I have friends, but I don't trust them well enough. Like, I'm gonna get the fuck...
call Tim.
I'm gonna get the fuck out of here if nobody has cell service or a landline or the internet's not working. Like, I like you all, but I don't really trust your personalities. You know what I mean? So, like, I think there I was starting to get, like, a little bit of heebie-jeebies, right?
Yeah.
Like, my spidey sense was tingling. But then I think, again, like, it really starts to pick up when the light... There's a point where I think Hugh and Amir leave the house.
The first time they fracture.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yes, and the lights come back on in Blue Team's house.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they think, oh, it's like the generator. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that is not the generator.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell it's connected, and I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen
Yeah,
next?
because I think the first two fractures are when her phone breaks, and then when the power goes out. Those were not fractures done by them, but they were fractures just done by the comet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But once they left, that was another fracture.
And they just kept leaving.
Right, I know. So they kept fracturing it.
Yeah.
And then I think if they passed through the dark area, because they made it sound like there's just this abyss.
Yeah.
Well, see, I wasn't sure if it was the dark area or if it was Beth's whole "that's the door to nowhere" thing. Because
that's a big deal. That's a big thing too.
Yeah, like they never went out the front door. They only ever went out that little side door to nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was the doorway or if it was like the dark part in the road. I don't know. Maybe there were multiple fracture points.
Yeah, I mean, the one fracture just happened when she was on her phone, just talking to Kevin.
Yeah, but I meant, like, do they double fracture? Like, if they go through the door to nowhere, they fracture, and then
Yes.
if they go through the pit, they fracture?
Yes.
Crazy.
Now, I want to roll back to how Sam would react.
Oh, you don't believe me?
Oh.
I think when you would first see them, yes, you'd play it cool, you'd make it back, and then you would freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
Probably.
You would be losing your shit because you are the type, like the Emily character, that you would have done all of this research. You would have known everything about these comets. You would have been like, Adam, did you know that this one time in Finland, this person said she murdered her husband and then he was alive?
I do that, yeah.
Yes, you do.
That's probably why I liked her.
Right. Because you could relate.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I'm watching my wife. But she did not know. The actress did not know she was the main character until the point when she realizes about the numbers.
Yeah, well, I don't think you know that she's the main character then till she leaves.
I just
right?
I kind of felt like she was just because like the beginning was they followed her at the beginning, so I felt that she was, but I don't think she had a major present, like a main character presence until that point because it was all chaos.
Yeah, I thought that they followed a lot of them. Like
I would say that
really
Hugh and Amir
closely.
kind of got nixed on being the main characters because they were the first to leave and we did not follow them.
No, but they came back and shit got real.
Yes. Now,
Oh, my Lord.
Amir was one of the writers.
Oh.
So they called him the mole or like the director did, because he knew like the story outline.
Right.
Ah.
So he could kind of help lead the group when needed.
That's kind of cool.
I don't.
That's kind of like
That
a
is
D&D
cool.
session. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan of how they did that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Amir's just an ass.
I was gonna say, did he really like drive it forward sometimes? And I wonder if maybe like,
If you go back and rewatch it.
yeah, like if you did notice that, because like he brings back the box, right? And then like they show the picture of him, and he's like, no, that was taken tonight. Like I bought this sweater today.
Yep.
So like I think he does like drop some truth bombs on him.
I gotta say, knowing that it's all like just done in 5 days, they didn't really have a script. It was really like,
I mean,
it does not feel that way.
Learning that and knowing it's an indie and stuff, and like thinking about like my original statement about like it being an indie and like the acting was good, that makes it like, I don't know.
That makes up for
I can't
everything.
think of myself like in that situation doing it like an improv. Like I feel like there would be a lot more, maybe they edited it, but I feel like there would be a lot more like pausing and
Blank
confusion
spots.
and stuff like that. And I was like, after hearing that, I think that's phenomenal to me. I thought that makes it even better. That's crazy.
And to think that these 8 actors and actresses didn't really know each other.
That's what I was
Right.
gonna say. Like if they knew each other, like they can kind of fill in the gaps, right? But I mean, hell, we have gaps and we know each other really well.
Right.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy. Well, I do have a question for you guys. So, when the power first goes out on the main house, and Mike whips out his glow sticks.
Yeah.
What? Would you guys have glow sticks for a dinner party? Like,
I
what
still
the
think
fuck?
it was a comet party.
You think it was
You think
a
it
what?
was a comet party? So it
A
calls.
comet party, so they had glow sticks for a comet party. Because they were going to go outside and watch the comet.
Probably.
Does that call for a glow stick experience, though?
Yeah, it does, in my
Okay.
opinion.
I just thought that was funny. That
I do.
he
I
had
agree.
glow sticks because, like,
3 sets of them, too.
right, like the sheer amount of glow sticks you have for 8 people is bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I kind of was wondering what color of, like, so when Hugh and Amir got back from the first time they went out, and they brought the box, I felt like they didn't, I was like, I didn't see them bringing a blue glow stick, but it didn't really register at that time.
Right.
Until the other group went out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay. So they're back here, and they all have blue glow sticks, but Amir and Hugh haven't shown theirs.
Right.
Are they red team? How many teams are there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did the math during the number scene.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like 6 different dice rolls to the 8th power times 3. That's assuming that there can only be 3 different colors of glow sticks.
Right.
Otherwise, the statistical analysis is wrong.
Yeah, wasn't it like...
Over 5 million different variations.
Yeah.
Different. And that's why Mike is like, in all millions of scenarios, I slept with your wife. I was like, damn, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Ooh.
You're a bad friend, Mike!
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
And you all knew? I thought he told you. Well, like, if I was in that situation and I thought that so-and-so told someone, I wouldn't have been bringing it up to be like, oh, you remember that time when your other friend banged your wife? I would not be bringing that up.
Yeah, he was like trying to
Yeah.
blackmail himself, and I don't know, that was weird.
Yeah.
That was a terrible idea.
I mean, he didn't seem like the
Yeah.
best. Like his character seemed like supposed to be unraveled anyway.
Yeah.
So
True.
But he was also the only one that like kind of figured out, like he was the second one to realize what was happening. Because Emily was like, oh yeah, like look at these numbers.
yeah,
Like,
I loved when she found the green ones. I was like,
Oh, I went berserk.
At that point, my mind would have been, fuck. Like I would have been like, shit. What do I do now?
right?
Yeah, well, I think again, like that was another good build up to tension.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when she flips and then she's just like staring at it. And I straight up went to Adam. I'm like, no, like those numbers were red, weren't they? Like I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was crazy with her,
Yeah.
which I thought was so good. Like that's what I loved about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like as the characters are going crazy, you're also like, no.
Well, so this movie did a really good job of keeping me hooked because part of it was like I wasn't sure what was happening, even though I knew there were splits. At first I was
Yeah.
like, is it a memory thing like she was talking about before? Is it going to be something where they like stop recognizing each other? All this other stuff. And that's when it like dropped the ball, like or the big bomb.
Yeah.
It's just like boom, multiple realities. It's just gonna continue going, and that's where I was like, that's fucking crazy. But
Yes.
yeah,
The director, he said that. First off, this was. Did I already say it was done at his own house?
yes,
I did.
yeah.
So he said throughout like the year coming up, like he said for about a year, all I did was make charts, drew diagrams of houses, arrows pointing where everyone was going, trying to keep track of every single different iteration.
Wow.
Like, could you, like, he did this, like, this was like a side project of his.
Right.
That's crazy.
And yeah, one of the producers ended up flying out to make sure it got done.
Dang.
Oh,
Like,
that's cool.
Yeah. Outside of, I think they had like 5 people outside the cast working on the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there were only two cameramen that walked around. And the reason why it was so shaky was because they're literally walking around because since it's all improv, they got to kind of like adjust.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. That's true. Because,
Yeah.
like, you don't know who's going to talk next.
Yeah,
Just
it's
whoever
insane.
Wow. Well, and I kind of liked when it first came on screen and, like, you could tell it was, like, shaky or whatever because it kind of gave me, like, Cloverfield vibes, and I like that movie. So I was like, this is a good vibe, especially for this type of movie. I think it worked well. Like, it made you feel like you were there.
Yeah, and I think, so there was at one point where, like, Amir was talking about something, and I was like, I would have had the exact same thought process as him. Where, are you pointing because you know what quote I'm going to say?
Yeah.
If it seems like a good idea for us, it is a good for us. It was a good idea for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is exactly what my thought process would have been. I would have been like, they're thinking the same damn thing as us.
Yeah.
So me,
exactly.
I would have like probably gone a little crazy with that because when he says, okay, they're doing the same thing, my thought was like, don't do the same thing. But then I would have been like, okay, the other me would be like, don't do the same thing that you just thought of, but don't do the other one you're thinking. Do the other thing. No, do something different. I would have been going crazy because I wouldn't know what to do. But I thought their idea
that you would have been stuck in a recursive circle.
Yeah, but then I like their
death.
idea that okay, well we'll do it, and they'll most likely have something different, like different object in the box. And I was like, okay, that grounds it for me. That would have made sense.
Yeah. I just see Tim over there flipping a coin. Okay, I've got 2 ideas. Boom.
Yep.
Heads, we're doing this.
Yep.
Take out all decision making.
Yep.
Come up with 2 choices. Go by the flip of a coin.
Yep. Pretty much.
What, Sam?
I'm just laughing that it's funny that you said you'd be stuck in a loop, Tim, because I feel like we may have felt that at one point together.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you too.
We tried to get stuck in
Maybe
loops,
a
and when
little
we were
bit,
stuck in a loop together, that was a mess.
And then there's me who's like, we're not... I'm trying to like guide them, and they're both stuck in the loop, and I'm like, this is not fun, guys.
Yeah. So I'm glad that one of us would not be in a loop in this situation.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my
You
goodness.
too.
Well, I was going to say, though, around that time when Amir says that quote, so, like, Hugh and Amir are gone forever. Like, the first time they're gone, but, like, they come back kind of recently, but
That was
then...
45 minutes.
Yeah.
That was Mike, I thought.
But...
No. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike was gone for 45 minutes.
They were gone
but
for
then-
like 10 minutes.
Yeah. But, like, the second time they went out, or maybe it was the third. I think it was the second. And they were gone for, like, a very long time from the main house. The main, in quotes, house. Yeah. And when Hugh comes back with a different Band-Aid, like, we lost our shit because we were like, let's see if he comes back with, like, a different glow stick or a different Band-Aid, and he comes back. And then, like, I loved that the character pointed it out. I think Lee pointed it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God. Like, it was just another bomb that dropped.
Yeah, I was like, I could definitely tell. Right when they were asking about the cloth and the regular Band-Aid, and when they picked one, I was like, okay, that's going to come up. Like, and then at one point, did you notice that you could tell that Blue Squad, the squad of 4 blue people, re-entered the wrong house when they were doing the dishes because the glass wasn't broken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that glass broke during one of the early fractures.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing, so that was before I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the glass hole, and I turned to you and I was like, oh, this is where the glass breaks. And you, like, didn't say anything. And I'm like, okay, like, maybe I don't know what's going on.
And then it never broke.
It never broke. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that makes a lot more sense. lie. This movie was bonkers.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It was a good bonkers.
Yeah, so I guess, how do you guys feel about sort of close to the end, like when M kind of, well, I guess it is just the end, when M figures out that there's another her walking around. Like, do you think there's other yous walking around?
They're, like right
not
now?
literally, but
Oh.
like in the, let's like put on our physics brains or whatever.
Well, that house never had to deal with all the fractures.
Yeah, that one
That was
house.
basically like the placebo house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah, that was like a totally different
Control house, that's the right
situation that
word.
was happening.
Well,
yeah.
it also seemed like the splits were there, but like they were at different time frames.
Yeah, but that house seems like the splits happened. They weren't. All the splits ended up leaning to not leaving the house. Nobody ever left the house.
Yeah.
So they never split up.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, they seemed like if you had like rolled back the movie, like they would have been the original crew.
Yes.
Because they never like left, and they just looked like, I don't know, they looked like they were having a great time.
Yeah. So when she was waking up in the morning, and she sees Beth coming out of the shower, and she was just saying like, was it Beth that said it? It was either Beth or Lee who said something about how somebody was going to take over for her dance studio, and they said the understudy that ended up taking up her role. Mm-hmm. Like, you can tell, like, oh shit, so this is the one that everything goes right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the winning circle.
That's the winning house. That's what you get for not leaving the house.
Right?
You become winners. But you don't think there's another you walking around in another dimension or
Well,
whatever?
they wouldn't know. That house wouldn't know about that. Because they never went out of the house. Nobody else outside of M coming in and trying to off herself. Nobody else entered that house. They never got the door banging. They never had the note on the front of the door.
Right, so what you're saying is that, yes, you think that there might be other yous, but you don't know.
Right, in theory, yes.
Because you're part of the winning team.
If I'm on the winning team, I wouldn't be like, I wonder if there are other me's out there. Except for maybe after that phone call. But then
Which
it kind
phone
of,
call?
at the very end, when M calls her,
Because
M calls
she's
Kevin.
not
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
dead
yeah.
still.
Yeah!
Yeah. Did you think she, like, was still in the universe, or do you think she just, like, disappeared? Like, before
I
the
was
phone call,
curious
were you
if
like,
she was going to disappear. I think the other girl thought she was going to disappear.
or she thought she did disappear?
Yeah, but no, I think that confirms that she's in that universe.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The other one, she just literally disappeared out of one. They don't have an M in the one anymore. And
Yeah.
unless another M walked into theirs, but then there's going to be
Yeah.
at least one universe where there isn't an M. Same with a Mike, it seems, but
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
at least other universes with different compilations of the 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
There could be doubles of Hugh.
Yup.
There could be no Mikes.
Well, what about the house that was all tied up? Like, are there just, like, none of them anymore? Except for Mike, right?
It depends on who survives. I don't know.
That's crazy.
We didn't get to focus on that
Yeah.
house that much. We
I
just
think
kinda
it
strolled
just
right
does
by
a good job of confusing the heck out of you and making you think a lot, which I think is amazing for movies. But
Tim
Yeah.
likes his thinking.
I do. I think
Yeah.
it was really good.
He's got that thinking cap he always puts on before he goes to watch a movie.
Well, I will say that I'm glad that they didn't focus on the house that, like, tied them up. I felt like maybe that would have made it predictable if all of a sudden, like you were saying, Tim, like, you're bad, your other one is automatically bad. Like, I think that is like a typical movie twist. So I'm glad they didn't necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of kept you in the dark on
Right.
that situation.
Yeah, they weren't being like, I'm gonna broadcast everything to you.
Yeah.
This is as evil as you. This is as dark as you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because always, if like the parallel universe version of you is evil, or if like you're evil, the parallel version of you is super good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh shit, what is it? The Bizarro world in DC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first
Where like
thought.
Bizarro Superman goes and murders people?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what you expect when a split universe happens.
Yeah.
Not the flipping a coin sort of scenarios. Which, you love those stories. It's not any shock that you enjoy this movie, Sam.
Yeah.
Tim, have you played the Bear Grylls TV show on Netflix?
No.
What is it?
You versus Wild.
You versus Wild.
I didn't
Shout
know
out to
that
that.
was a thing.
Yeah, so basically you get to choose what Bear Grylls does. And she loves street formats. She loves the Telltale games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So all these like little drops, little butterfly effect things are her favorites.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I
That's
will
very
say
true.
on
So
that,
now-
wasn't there, what's that movie that came out not long ago that was a Netflix original like that? I loved that.
Bandersnatch?
Yes.
Bandersnatch?
I loved that, yeah.
Yes. So it's the same interactive sort of deal,
Gotcha.
but Bear Grylls.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can make him eat poop if you want. Which I did.
Ha-ha!
But anyway, I had to get my poop in here somewhere, guys. It's been a couple episodes.
What was your quote from that you always walked around saying after you played it?
Oh, I also like that show. Okay, and then we'll stop talking about it. Because after, like, at the end of every episode / throughout every episode, like, when you make a decision, he's like, good decision, good decisions today. And I just, like, he really pumped me up, man. Like, I felt like I was making good decisions.
Always made you feel like you did a good job for that day, even though you just sat on your couch playing a TV show.
Yes, so I request of you guys, if we ever get fractured together, I need you guys to go, good decisions.
Good decisions.
Good decisions, regardless of what I do.
So if I just randomly start saying that, are you going to feel like your life is fracturing?
Probably.
If, like, Sam's going to have a 50-50 choice here, and she's going to be like, which one should I choose? And she's going to pick one. I'm going to be like, good decision today.
Good
Yeah, I
decision.
really need you to start narrating, like, you have a choice, and now your reality's gonna change based on this one choice. Good decision.
But do I have to also point at you? Because Bear Grylls always
Yeah.
points back at the camera.
Perfect. I love it.
Oh, you know who we have not talked about once?
Who?
A useless character.
Lori.
Yeah.
Lori,
Ding, ding, ding.
Did everybody... I just got the feeling that everybody in the original universe hated her.
Duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
Now-
for good reason.
Did M date Amir?
No.
No. Okay.
Lori and
But
Lori
Lori
and Kevin
Lori-
dated, and then Amir
And then
brought her, dated
dated-
her, apparently.
And Amir dated someone else that
Kevin
Kevin
did.
dated
Yep.
because they had that little side.
That's why I was asking if it was M.
I don't think so.
I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it, but I don't think so.
Yeah. But anyway, so Lori,
Mm.
you were a worthless person.
Terrible, terrible Lori.
Well, and I almost wondered if she was better in the winning household. Obviously, she was.
She was.
But it looked like nobody hated her in that household.
Right? Like, whatever household that, whatever fracture Beth was in, she hated Lori, like, despised her.
Well, yeah.
Every single thing Lori said, I kind of started to feel bad. She would just snap at her. I'm like, God damn. you're a
I think
bitch."
they had reason for that though. Like, I don't know. Like, it felt like they knew her personality. They knew why she was hanging around. It almost felt like she had an obsession with Kevin. That's
true.
how they were treating it, and they knew that's the only reason she is like with Amir is to get close to Kevin again, which kind of is confirmed later when they kiss or whatever, I guess. But
But there was a universe where Lori was with Kevin.
right, yeah,
When
exactly.
they walked past.
Exactly. That kind of proves it. I
Did
think.
you not see that one?
No, I remember that one. I forgot about that one, though.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, the whole dog story that he has. I think that when she fractured early, when they did the fracture early on, it fractured her to a point where she was still, like, where Kevin was still closer with Lori.
Yeah, in the blue team house. I think
In the blue team
that.
house, yeah. So, like,
Because that they, like Tim said, they kissed later on too. So yeah, maybe the fracture did like affect that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I wasn't paying as much attention at the beginning that I needed to be when they were in the first scene. Maybe this is worth a rewatch just for this. Like, does her phone fracture while she's talking to Kevin?
On the phone with Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because doesn't he almost like say something like, "Oh, I need to talk
Yes.
to you" or something
Yes,
like
he does.
that? So like maybe that's the first fracture of him like pulling away from her.
Right. And
Crazy.
Now that you say that, though, since they were all on different timelines, what if
Yeah.
that was a Kevin that they did, like Lori and him kissed, and he got into her timeline and called her before she had even gotten to the party, like at the beginning?
yeah. Yeah, so the first fracture happens before the party, so,
Yeah.
like,
Right. So
it's already
it's already
bizarre
started, yeah.
land.
So that's a Kevin calling her, and then it all gets like jumbled up because I think she enters into like her own reality.
a different Kevin's world.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wow. Yeah, that was crazy. You might be right.
I wouldn't mind going back and just, like, if I were to rewatch it, I would want to, like, pay attention to the black screens. Be like, okay,
Yeah.
so we fractured here. Okay, so we fractured here.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I have an idea of that shenanigans. But back to the story. I don't believe Lee when she said, I'm going to go to my standard Flipper Flicks response of, I don't believe Lee that the most common dog name is Bear.
I wrote that down too. I agree. I have actually heard that before, though.
What?
This is because the three of us were ready to do this like a normal movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're like, this is bullshit. Bullshit. Derivative.
Bullshit.
I always was told it was Max.
You always thought it was...
Max was the most common.
Max? Yeah, I would agree with that more.
But Sam had a different one.
I said Spot.
You're in a different universe, damn it.
Oh, yeah, I'm Sam. I'm not part of Team Blue.
Team Red.
Oh.
We're Red Dye.
Well, I'm black, though, so I'm already not part of this team. No, I do agree with Max, but I was trying to think of, like, another one, because I couldn't be like, yeah, I totally agree, because I was like, people have some creativity, but not a lot. Yeah. There's, like, 3 names, all right? There's, like, Max, Spot. I really don't think Bear is even top
I've never,
3.
like, my parents named our dog, like, Cody, Bear, but we called her Cody, not Bear.
My cousin had a dog named Bear.
Oh?
Let's do a quick Google search.
I don't even know how you can
confirm
that, though.
Right, like, is there some database out there?
Yeah, people survey what your dog
Top
I mean, it's like, it just doesn't make sense because it's, how would you, like, unless all dogs are, like, registered or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they could get it from, like, dogs are chipped like cats, right? Or
yeah.
No?
Yeah.
So maybe they could get it from that.
Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Max at number 2, 3 is Buddy.
Oh, I forgot about Buddy. Buddy is higher than Bear.
Number 10 is Teddy.
Well, my sister's dog name is Teddy.
I know. Some people, apparently Bailey is. It is. Bailey's up there as a top one.
Oh.
Bear is not. Milo is.
Milo?
My parents' dog's name.
Look
Dog
at
names.
you guys. My dog's names were creative.
Yeah. Sam. Megan was a great name.
Hey, I did not name her. I was going to say Mel is creative.
What's Mel's full name?
Melvin Percival Winston.
Yes. Thank
According
you,
to
Sam's
me and
brother.
My brother. I don't know that the rest of the family agreed with that. Oh my.
Yes.
Anywho, Bear is not accurate. Do not believe.
Disagree.
That's our one beef for this movie.
Yeah. Lee, did you catch that Lee was like the head, like CEO of Skype?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, just throwing titles around.
Well, and at the time for 2014 Skype was around before that. But I was just wondering if they were like trying to make a plug for Skype because she kept being like, yeah, my app Skype. Yeah. And I'm like, hasn't Skype been around for a while?
But again, I think that this was that was like, instead of saying like,
yeah.
That was their kind of pods because they were improving.
Yeah.
Like with my app Skype, and like they would have to like, it just allowed her a couple seconds of fuck, what do I say? Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. They have like their little 5 filler phrases.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta call my brother.
I gotta call my brother. Why did you talk to Lori?
I gotta call my brother.
Do you guys want to do some ketamine?
Oh, God.
That was best for sure.
What would be Kevin's?
Or just hating on Lori was best.
Mike is like, early Mike is just like, just partying, having a good time. And then late Mike is like, wind it up.
Yeah. I don't know that Mike, well, no, his was like, I'm in Roswell or whatever, or I'm an actor. That was his catchphrase for a lot of the beginning.
And then what was Amir? Amir, I don't know if he had any.
I don't think he had enough
because
lines.
He was the mole.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I guess Ems was just being jealous of Lori.
Which doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I wasn't sure where you were going. I was like, what?
He's like, what?
What? It's so messed up.
It is.
Oh my. She had a picture of him with her bank account on the back.
That was weird.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that was kind of like
I want to believe
red flag.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
She belongs in another household. That's all
yeah,
right.
probably. I want to also. I think it'd be hilarious if they didn't if the director just kind of gave them like their props. Like, here's your purse, and then like she's like looking through it. Oh, I have a picture of him. Like, that would have been really cool. I don't know if that's the case.
But that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
I mean, they probably
were.
were. Yeah, there's probably a good chance he gave it to him beforehand to like look through and be like, use these if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
or
what
like
happened.
Em knew she had a ring or something.
Yeah.
Right. Tim, you got any more notes?
Probably. There's just so much stuff that, like, you think about and you keep...
It just fractures.
Yeah.
Heyo.
I mean, I think some of the filming decisions were a little odd, like, but I give it like an okay. Like, it's not a big deal. It was just kind of minor things that bothered me, like when the lights were flickering at the end when she's like beating the crap out of herself. You know, it's like why were the lights flickering and all this stuff?
End of a fracture.
But
I have no
maybe
idea.
I don't know.
Oh.
We don't
I was
know.
like, what?
We don't know.
Sam's just like, oh my god, he's onto something.
He's paying so much attention to this movie. I miss so much.
Did I blink too much?
Yeah.
I thought it was odd that, like, they heard a banging on the door and immediately freaked out like it was an intruder instead of thinking like it might have been a neighbor that needed, like, was very curious, or no,
it was the door to nowhere.
Friends doing that. It's like, what?
It was because it was the door to nowhere.
True, but it was just a back door.
Yeah, in reality, it was just it wasn't even a back door. It was a side door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be even more accessible.
Right. So
than
that
a back door.
I just thought it was odd.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I agree with that too, because yeah, it's just like, who cares? There's somebody knocking on the door. I get that they were tense because, like, people had left and, like, the power went out, or the power had come back.
Power had gone
at that
out.
point. But they had still had the power out at one point, and then their phones are... So, like, I get it being tense, but I agree. That was a gross overreaction to somebody just knocking on your door.
But knowing it's improv now...
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
They're like, what?
Wasn't bad.
Maybe someone's coming through.
Like...
Yeah.
My other note, I only had like a couple more things before I get to the cast in. This premiered at the Austin Fantastic Fest. Not the one that we're looking at going into.
Gotcha.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the one we're going to. I was
No,
really
we're
excited.
trying to go to the Austin Film Festival. Different film festival that takes place in Austin.
Well, I'm pumped for it if they show movies like this.
Right. Okay, so the budget for this film was $50,000.
Nice.
Wow.
That is very low.
Yeah.
And it made... So, it was, like Sam was saying at the beginning, it was a straight-to-video movie, but it had, like, the film festival releases.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually won a couple, like, screenplay awards.
I could see that.
And at Austin Fantastic Fest, it won, I think, I think it won Best Screenplay. I'd have to relook it up.
Okay.
It made, in those, like, couple weekends that it was out, $100,000.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah. So I was like, good for you guys. You doubled your money.
Well, and I think you keep the cost down by shooting it at
Your own house.
5 only for
days.
5 days. Like, it's all improv. Like, I could see it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was good.
So last notes by you two? Sam's out.
Well, do you want to explain the dice roll, or?
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, you have activities for us this episode.
Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to get to the cast.
Yeah.
M was played by none other than Emily Baldoni. Emily
I can't
Baldoni.
believe you
Blondie.
mispronounced her name. How dare.
She was in the movie 5 Feet Apart. That was,
I wanted to see that.
yes, it was
Never
like kind
heard
of a depressing drama.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't watch it.
It looks like a Tim
All
friend.
right,
Definitely
fair
go
enough.
watch it.
like
And
a
Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
She's in that movie?
She is.
Nice.
Mike is Maury Sterling. He's a main character in Homeland.
Was he in Roswell? Is that a real show?
No,
Oh.
it's not a real show. He was in a movie called Extent, a TV show called Extent, and another TV show called All Right Already.
Okay.
Kevin, who is played by Nicholas Brendon, was in the show Kitchen Confidential.
Oh, nice.
And then he was Xander in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Nice.
He is the second. He is Buffy's, I think he's the boyfriend. He's
Ah.
like the number 2 character on IMDb for that show.
Nice.
So the joke, I think they're saying that online at least, that Mike always being like, oh, I'm from Roswell. I'm the main character in Roswell. I'm the main character in Roswell. Is that Kevin,
Was actually like
the main one of the main characters of Buffy.
That's funny. Yeah.
Lee is played by Laureen Scafaria. She was a producer for the movie called Hustlers.
Nice.
She helped write. She was one of the writers for Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Nice.
And she was actually, finished a couple days before on the screenplay for Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Very
so
depressing film if you want to go watch that.
She has a decent amount under her belt.
Yes. Beth is played by Elizabeth Grayson. I'm just laughing because a lot of these are just plays on their own names.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never seen the show Highlander, but she was Amanda.
Okay.
And then she was also in a show or movie called Suspense.
Okay.
Hugh was played by Hugo Armstrong.
Such a good.
He was in a TV show called Stitchers. He was in, I think, a show called Room 104, and then Lucky.
Okay.
Amir was played by Alex Monogyan. I can't pronounce names. It's cool.
Agree.
He was, like I said, he was one of the storyboard writers for this movie. Mm-hmm. He was a story editor for Grey's Anatomy.
Dang, look at Amir.
And then he worked on Rango.
Cool.
Like the Johnny Depp.
Yeah, the Johnny Depp one. And then
Nice.
Lori was played by Lauren Maher.
Okay.
All right, you've seen 5 movies with her in it.
With Lori?
Pirates of the Caribbean. She's Scarlet. Do you know who Scarlet is?
No.
She's the redhead.
She totally is. That's hilarious. Wow.
So if you've ever ridden Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney, I think it's at any of the Disney, most of the Disneys at this point. She's the redhead, like one of the characters. We wants the redhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the slogan, not the slogan.
Yeah, and in the movies, every time they land on Tortuga, Johnny Depp
Gets slapped
talks
by
with
her.
her or gets slapped by her. That's funny.
Yep.
Look at her. She made her
And-
money.
The director was James Ward Bjorgett. I can't say his last name. But he worked also on a short for Pirates of the Caribbean called Tales of the Code Wedlocked.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never
Heard of that?
heard of that.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I got for the cast. So, Tim, do you got your dice?
I do.
Well, wait, I have a question.
Oh, Sam's got a question before we dice roll.
Were any of the people on this actually physicists or anything like that? Do you think
No.
some of this is rooted in reality?
What do you mean?
Like,
It
Oh,
was somebody's
the
theory,
director
yeah.
met.
yeah, is
The
this a
director met with
theory?
physicists and everything.
So yeah, so they almost checked it out.
He did a ton of research.
That makes it better. I knew that they would have. There's no way they were going to release this without being let me check this, because there are going to be people on the internet that are going to say this isn't real.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought.
Okay, I have my dice.
Tim, you got your dice?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to roll. All right. Sam, I got a 6. Sam, what'd you get? Sam rolled hers off. She's
I
dead.
got 4.
She got a 4. Tim, what'd you roll?
Are we not going to? Okay.
Roll
I'll
your
just roll
dice.
again. Okay. Sure. 4.
Okay, so we all fractured.
Yep.
Wait. Oh.
Because I rolled a 4, now I rolled a 6.
But you're
So I'm a
almost
different me than I
destined
was
to
at-
fracture.
You got a 1 in 6 chance to fracture.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I was going to say, do we get to be from the same team because we got 4s?
No,
No.
that does not mean it because you also have black and he has red.
Oh, that's true.
So yeah, we all
now I have
fractured.
purple
Yay,
dice.
experiments. Oh. So Tim double fractured.
Wait, now I have green dice.
Yeah, didn't you? Yeah, I was don't you have 3 sets
I
of
have,
dice?
6
so
sets of
you're
dice.
Tim
real
is just
fractured.
I
teleporting
have
everywhere.
several sets of dice.
He's got to talk to himself in case anything happens. He's got to figure it
Also,
out.
I
and he'll
rolled
come
a
back to
die
us with a plan.
20, so
Well, god damn it, Tim.
I'll get my 100 out.
Anywho. Well, Tim gets his 100
I'm not
out.
actually gonna-
Sam, would you flip this film on?
Oh, hands down, yes. So, this is a movie that I think you can watch over and over again because it's one of the movies that, as we said, makes you think and you are figuring it out. And the first time through, it's really crazy, right? And you get that first oh my god moment. But then I think I get a lot of pleasure out of rewatching these types of movies because
She
like
does.
we're saying,
yeah.
you can go back and see stuff and be like, that's a fracture. Look at that. So I'm turning it on.
Yep.
Tim?
For sure.
100%. Yeah, I loved this movie, every aspect of it. I think it's very low key, and I want more people to see it. I think the
Same.
reviews, or at least the what percentages there, are accurate. I think IMDb's a little low on it. I don't know the reasoning for it, but
They're always the harshest.
yeah. But I
don't know
think
why.
overall, yeah, I those reviews spot on. Very good movie.
I would also flip it on.
3 flipping odds. 3 flipping odds. Okay, go ahead.
I just like these type of mindfuck
Oh,
movies.
yeah, absolutely.
My first one was Fight Club.
Yep.
And I just kind of was left with my mouth opening at the end, like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is kind of the point of these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they make enough of these movies. They're
Now-
so good.
Yeah.
Now, what would be... But I want both of you guys to answer this since I just answered it for myself. Sam, what was your first mind bender?
It was
Mind
Fight
fuck?
Club.
Was Fight Club, Tim?
I guess it would have to be Fight Club, yeah?
I think it's just because of where we're aged.
Yeah.
I would-
That just
I would
it
say
lined
that
up
has to be it.
perfectly for us. Another good one is Memento.
Memento's good. I didn't see that
you've-
for a long time, though.
It took us a bit of time too,
Yeah.
but it was a really good one.
Well, and I think 7 kind of does it too.
Seven,
Like,
yeah.
was
It
in the
does.
box.
Yeah.
Same
So,
director as Fight Club.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, David
But I
Fincher,
wouldn't
right?
say
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
necessarily like a mindfuck movie as much as it is just like
No.
an investigative
Oh
thriller.
fuck! I would say
Yeah.
that's more of an oh fuck.
Because you know who the bad guy
Rather
is the
than
whole
a no
time. You know
fuck.
what his plan is. You know he's like messing with them the whole time. But
Yeah.
That is true.
Now, a newer one that you'll get confused with is The Man Who Killed Don Quixote,
Yes.
but that's for a different time.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get the spinner out. Spin it. It's Tim's turn
Woo!
for a movie choice awards.
pick me.
Can you top this movie?
Can you top this movie? We went from The Blob to this.
Oh, we're on a good streak.
All right, here we go. Spin it. Yeah, spin it. We're going with The Bob. Box office bust.
Box office bust.
That's number 4. That's almost off the
Say,
wheel.
haven't
That
I
is almost off the
seen
wheel.
This one before.
Tim's picked a couple of busts.
Yeah, wait. How many box office busts have you picked?
don't
You picked
know.
Mortal Engines.
Yeah.
I think that might be it.
Is that it? How many have we done?
4.
Well,
3.
I did Monster Truck. So did you pick box office bust?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I feel like Tim picked another one, but I could be wrong.
I'd have to go look at our list.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. Well, cool beans.
Cool beans, guys.
Cool beans, guys.
We'll catch you next week here on Flipper Flicks.
Or, we'll fracture and you'll hear us again in a minute or something. I don't know. Welcome back to Flipper Flicks. I'm Tim, and whether you're on the blue, the red, or the green team, we're happy to have you back.